Marleen is our special guest from Fields of Green for all this evening. She's going to be telling us a little bit about about Fields of Green's latest trip to Cape Town, the Haze Club update, and just generally what's going on with legalization, hey?
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to start with our Manifesto Mondays. As like everyone watching probably already knows, we've been releasing the manifesto section by section every Monday, hence Manifesto Monday. And this week we released section 2, which is about the background, history and context of cannabis. And it's quite an interesting section because it actually shows how the roots of prohibition are in South Africa, and it's also based in racism. So it addresses quite a few interesting things in that sense, and then it also speaks about the current status of the cannabis laws in terms of well, firstly, just note the absence of any quantities or limitations. There's nothing in any current legislation that says that you are only allowed to grow X amount of anything relating to cannabis. There's nothing like that, so just take a note of that. It speaks about the unregulated market and how that is currently operating and what influences that market. And then also international perspectives and laws, and a very important section, remedies and regulations, because the thing is that we already have so many people that are sitting in jail for cannabis offences that now currently, even with the privacy judgment, it's already not a case of them being guilty of anything anymore, but those people are still sitting in jail, and even people who have lost their like they have a criminal history now for something that they did like 5 years ago, but now it's legal. You know, we need to go back and repair those things because we have damaged and really negatively affected people of our community, and it's important that we, before we start by handing out licenses to the rich and opening up all these fantastic investment opportunities, which also need to happen, like please can we just like start with the people that have suffered the most because of the wrong things that we've done all together. You know, like suffering. And are still suffering, yes, because still we get poor Charles is just running around with that Fields of Green helpline that honestly none of us want, because like it's a full-time job, it's traumatic. Some of the stories that get to Charles of police abuse is really, really intense. Like we sit and cry as we listen to these calls because it's just so inhumane what's busy happening. So we need to go back to those things and repair that first. So there, thanks Rian for bringing up that. It's just the blog post of where we released the latest section, and then next week Monday we'll be on to the next section because we've been doing really well in keeping to our timeline. Thanks to Suresh, he's really done such an awesome job of managing this process. It's also a job that I didn't really want. So yeah, shout out to Suresh, thanks for that. That's Manifesto Mondays, and then feedback from our trip to Cape Town. We had quite a cool trip. We weren't sure if it was going to happen with all the sudden announcements of regulations changing and all that. So we were very happy when we could last week Monday actually go do this thing. And the main thing was to support the Haze Club, who, as you all know, the guys were arrested in October for their Grow Club model. And surprise, surprise, when they got to court, there was not even a prosecutor assigned to their case yet. So another 3 months of their lives wasted, you know, like these people have lost their income. And government is just not interested in prioritizing that at all.
Not even the slightest.
So we were there to support them. We also met up with some of our affiliates and our local organizations. So we met up with Tony Budden, you mentioned him earlier, he's from Hemporium. And we checked out his hemp house, which is quite cool. You know, some of the walls are, there's 2 walls that are like different manufacturing methods of hemp. And it's amazing just the temperature difference, like on the outside where the sun shines on the wall, it's quite hot. But then the back end of that wall is really, really cool on the inside. Like there's the heat doesn't penetrate that, so that's quite cool. There's hemp carpets and hemp curtains and hemp oil on the kitchen counters, you know, so it's really, it's quite a practical example of how we can do this and really like make a chip in the housing problem that we have in South Africa. Sort of just try and...
At least hybrid housing.
Yeah, at least hybrid
something.
housing, you know, like try and...
Hybrid bricks. We don't
Yeah.
have to go all the way.
And just try and do it more sustainably due to like the housing problem that we have and such a great need that there is to fill there. So yeah, that was Tony. Myrtle stayed with Keith Scott. He's from the South African Drug Policy Initiative, and he's a doctor, and he's also on the activism side for drugs. He's with, like I said, the South African Drug Policy Initiative. But instead of just like we're advocating only for cannabis, he advocates for all drugs. Like they want all drugs to be legalized, and he has quite interesting insights on. Especially this bill that we're sitting in this conundrum with, you know, the fact that it's just completely unconstitutional, and how it's a lower class law, and especially if you go and look at the alcohol ban, that was aimed at a specific socio-economic class in South Africa, because the rich person is firstly either able to afford the now inflated market prices on the illicit market that is not supposed to exist or be available to
Or
them,
could afford to stock up.
or they
when
could
rumours
afford to
started.
stock up when the rumors all started. And the person on the streets that gets his wages in cash on a Friday and can only afford 2 beers for the weekend, he's screwed. He couldn't do anything. What does he do? He goes to his tavern. He gets arrested. You know, so it's a completely unconstitutional thing that no one is considering the people in this whole equation, and Keith is quite good at seeing how that influences what's happening in South Africa and how it affects everyone and not just this specific like construct that government has in their head when they're busy making regulations, you know. So Keith was quite cool in that. Charles and I stayed at Marleen from Cannabis Arts 420 friendly accommodation in Kalk Bay. It was really so nice. Like the picture, the view from the lounge was onto the harbour below.
Like
So
a
it's just like
painting.
the ocean. Yeah,
It's amazing.
Picturesque.
You
It
just
was
reach
really,
out and touch the ocean.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. It was really, really beautiful. Very, very nice. Really nice space. And yeah, just a shout out again, Mary Lou. Thank you so much for all the effort and for making that space available to us. It was really nice living there. We had an awesome time. And then, we went to some Dagga private clubs.
Okay.
Yes.
Were they
These
damned?
clubs are Dagga private clubs. So we will not be mentioning their names because these clubs are not advertising.
Exactly, that's the point.
Because that's the flippin' point. So you know who you are, guys. You know we were there and we've been supporting you all along. Thank you for what you're doing. It's really nice to see that there are people out there who make it about the people.
Well,
You
get
know,
the point.
it's not
Yeah.
and
There are
they
people who
get the
have common
point.
sense, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Common sense. Set up your structures properly. Do your planning.
Be responsible.
Yeah, be responsible, and it's really nice to see that in the community. Also, some people that we met with that want to start up DPCs I had a really interesting encounter where this person wanted to start the process from completely the opposite view, where he saw a need in the community and he has this existing cannabis community, so he's just linking the two so that he can supply in this need using his club. So that was mind-blowing. It was absolutely fantastic to just see that someone gets it and someone sees what it is that we're trying to create, and that it's all about the people and nothing about us without us, you know. We have to be a part of that process. So yeah, that's the main visit to Cape Town. Yeah.
Sounds like it was fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, yeah. We didn't meet up with too many people because we were like a little bit wary of the Rona and the
Yeah, no,
things.
you gotta still
course.
So guys, for updates on the Haze Club, because it did get kicked down the road a bit by the High Court, please visit fieldsofgreen.org.za. There's loads of info there, loads of newsletters, loads of support, things about knowing your rights and so on. But essentially, it's good that there's a lot going on. It's good that these private clubs have got skin in the game. It's good that there are private clubs. So it's wonderful that there's more than there was before. Because for once upon a time, there was nothing. Then there was weed.co.za.
Yes.
Then there was weed.co.za and BTL. Then there was weed.co.za, BTL, Dacha couple.
Yeah.
But it stayed kind of like that for a long time. And now, even though it's CBD Oaks and Distal and the Haze Club and these private clubs, essentially these are all people who are investing in this, call it what you will, green wave, economy, industry, whatever. People are getting into it. And it's nice now to see other oaks also taking up the baton a bit.
When Weed.co.za was Weed.co.za, that was pretty much the only place, except maybe that bomb shop in Cape Town. What was it, the Purple Turtle? What was it called?
A Little Amsterdam.
Little Amsterdam.
Yes.
By the purple.
That one hasn't moved.
And that was one of the oldest.
That was the only one.
Yeah, that was.
It was the only one.
Only one in the whole of South Africa. And then there was nothing. But since then, it's been a very, very steep rise in the number of shops, online services,
Quality
auxiliary
industry is
services.
booming.
Just go to
We
China.
only just
Everything.
It's a Chinese shop full of just everything you need.
Everything.
Yeah, everything, bro.
And he specializes in just smoking.
Yeah, there we go.
You
So
know,
there we go.
tobacco
So it's really
pipes or
taken a
whatever.
serious upturn. So if you invested in it prior, you would have been making either moolah or you'd be investing your time and your effort in yourself in order to
I think
grow
it's about
with it.
Exposure time.
Yeah, but
That's
we
it,
all
man.
need to push. Everyone needs to push in their direction.
That's it.
So guys,